So here is a way to totally destroy your presentation and damage everything you have done so far. And that's to tell the story, maybe even the right story at the wrong place in your presentation. I've seen that and I've done it. So I want you to go with me here. I'm on stage for one of the greatest companies in Scandinavia, or actually in the world. It's a big company. And I'm teaching the leaders. This is CEOs from the whole world. It was actually one of the first presentations I ever did in English. So I was a little nervous, right? And these were top guys. You know, I remember the tables. They had like 7 wine glasses, and like you know, it was probably a 10-course dinner or something. So I felt I felt a little bit stressed. But I knew that one thing that I always want to kind of reconnect people with is compassion, because I think compassion is what really changes the world. These people worked in the medical industry, so it was obvious to talk about compassion. And I was hired, and this is important, I was hired to really make a kickoff presentation. So they had probably a 2-day event or something. And remember, people come from all around the world, and this was the annual conference. So I was the kick-off presenter. I was hired to really inspire them to say, this next year will be the best year ever. And I had made a brilliant presentation, I think. I thought for myself at least. And so I come up there and I inspire people, and I really feel that they are inspired. So, and probably because I was a little stressed, I forgot to share the story. It's a brilliant story. And the story, very quickly, is that I read it in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits. It's an amazing book. And the story is that Stephen Covey, he was a leadership consultant or expert. He is on the, and he was world famous, so he's on the New York Metro underground train a Sunday morning. And you know, I've never been there, but what I've heard and what he describes is that normally the underground train there is packed in the work days. But now, Sunday morning, early morning, there's not many people, so it's silence, it's a different atmosphere. He's sitting there enjoying his New York Times, the thick New York Times edition, Sunday morning, with his coffee latte, probably. And suddenly the door opens and a father with a lot of kids comes in, and they totally destroy that Sunday morning for him. These kids are so wild. They run back and forth in the train. They jump over the seats, and they're hanging in the, whatever. And he see that the other few people that are already on the train are a little bit irritated, because they were there for a peaceful morning, or they actually wanted to enjoy the peaceful morning. So he feels that, okay, I'm a leader, he was an authority, so he felt that, okay, I could have said something. But the father of these kids, he's like sitting there watching out the window, doesn't care about the kids, he doesn't even see that how much noise they make. So he's like, wow, you're father, you have like probably 5-6 kids here, and they're all wild. And they, maybe you should take care of your kids. That's what his inner dialogue. And then finally he said, okay, I'll do it, to himself. So he turns to the father and said, hey, you have all these kids, maybe you should kind of calm them down a little bit, because this is really stressing people out. The father turns his head to Stephen Covey and looks at him with sad eyes and says, yeah, I know, but we just came from the hospital where their mom died this morning. And that shifted his whole perspective. He thought about a father who couldn't take care of his kids and should have done. And now, knowing the story, everything changed, right? So he felt compassion for that father who just lost his wife and now was alone with a lot of kids. So, and you probably, when I tell this story, you could imagine, you know, if you've been in the train, you would have maybe not waited to say a word to that father. And now when I shared the reason, you probably also felt a shift in your energy, right? I can feel the shift in my energy when I tell the story. So, and that story is a story about empathy, understanding people's suffering, understanding that people suffer sometimes when we don't know. And we judge for what we see and we don't know what's going on in people's lives. I wanted to tell that story. I have thought that that story would really fit the occasion and the medical industry gathering here top leaders in the world. So I come to the end of my presentation and I see, wow, I have 5 minutes left. I forgot that story. I need to share that. So I do that, and it's, you know, the whole room is touched. It's so silent. I can see tears in people's eyes. And now my time is gone, so I say thank you. And of course I got a warm applause from that presentation. However, I could have, if I had, my job was to leave the audience in a high state of inspiration, kickoff for the next 12 months. I could have brought that presentation in earlier, as I intended to. At that time, I wasn't aware of, you know, I thought I was a newbie, I was kind of a new speaker in those years. So I had no insight on how stories actually impact people. So here's the thing, if you tell stories, always know that there is an energy with stories. We tell stories to underscore a point sometimes, to make a perspective and to help people recognize the daily life. Because when we talk about theory, sometimes people are up in their head and they don't connect the theory with their life. So a story can be a brilliant way to connect people so they see, oh, this is about me, I recognize that, what would I have done in that situation? I have been in similar situations, or I've heard similar stories, and it engaged people emotionally in their life. So you pull your content into people's body with a story. However, always be aware of what energy do you want them to have. I wanted them, that was my job, to leave them in a high state of, you know, we can do this, we can change the world. And the thing was, after my presentation, they were not ready for the next one. So it was good that I shared it, but I didn't do my job. I could have shared it earlier in that presentation and it would have been the most amazing thing, and people would have said, you did exactly what we paid you for. I wish I've done that, and I learned that lesson, and now I know exactly what kind of energy do I want here in the beginning, what kind of energy do I want to share in the middle of the presentation, and what kind of energy do I want them to leave with. And then if I have many stories, which I very often have, I choose the stories at the end of the presentation that actually embodies and help people embody the energy I want them to live with. So that was my little thought today. I hope you appreciate it. I would so much love if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. Comment if it gives you something, or you have some questions, let me see them and I'll do whatever I can to answer. So appreciate you so much. Share your stories, they can change your world. And if you change the world for one person, you will change the world for more people. So I love you for sharing, and see you soon again.